Akai Katana is one of the last games Cave would develop for arcades, one of 4 horizontal shmups in their portfolio. It's interesting that it would be developed by Shinobu Yagawa, best known for Battle Gurega, which would serve as inspiration for Cave's second game, which I'm sure you heard of, Dodonpachi. Man, that's cool. I've always seen Akai Katana praised, but I've never had the chance to check out the Xbox 360 port. When the news broke that it would be re-released, it became a day one purchase. Would I say the game is as good as it was portrayed? Allow me to show you why the answer is yes. There are 3 pilots, accompanied by the dwelling spirits of their Akai Katana, blades that have harnessed power by human sacrifice. When you soul shift, changing to a human form, the ship changes to the person whose life was claimed. Interestingly, each gave their life willingly in a ritual, in the hope of dethroning an evil empire. The backstories are driving too. Tsubaki, who killed her spirit Sumire, who was as close as a sister, renouncing her womanhood and resolve. Botan, her brother Kikyo, losing her sight in the process. And Shion Suzurin, a person she had once rescued, losing her youth. Victory always comes at a price with Cave, so you can't expect the endings of a similar weight. There's a cool factor to the game's aesthetic, which strongly carries over to the gameplay. Every ship has an option that follows its movement, with a distinct firing pattern. As enemies are destroyed, energy will be released that can be used for soul shift, the length of time dictated at the top left and around the ship. In the phantom state, more damage can be dealt. If you tap the fire button or have it released altogether, bullets will be repelled and gravitate around you. The possibilities for repositioning, of entering the tempest of bullets to overwhelm the enemy are incredible. You're a wielder of the Akai Katana, and with the soundtrack that pulses the energy, you get consumed by the feeling. If stricken or if the meter exhausts, you'll revert to the fighter state. The surrounding bullets will disperse, but slowly reflow towards you. These are known as suicide bullets. There will be moments when they'll overlap with incoming fire, instances where you'll hope to gather the modicum needed to soul shift for a save. Akai Katana never fails to be exhilarating. It's a notion that has been with me since I first booted the game, but I've had to adapt to the ship option. Since it shifts its position constantly and fixes in place with the focus shot, it can be easy to mistake it for the hitbox when things are in full motion. It's partly why I favor the second plane, for visibility and enemy tracking. They each have their strengths, but it did take me time to see them. When you lose a life, the energy gauge does expand to make up for the loss, a benefit that doesn't go away with an extend. Gold is released by enemies in Phantom, increasing in value when in contact with bullets. Repeat the process by gathering green energy in the fighter state, holding the focus shot to boost the amount in the same fashion as gold. The push and pull creates a nice system. The same could be said of lasers. You are invulnerable to them in Phantom, but in fighter will wear down your life as if it were a health bar. Since it can't be restored, it creates a degree of tension when low. Lastly, for those dire situations, or when you'd rather not the time, you have bombs. That starting on stage 3, you gain a free one before the boss. Every death you get a restock of 3, but your last life does auto-bomb upon being hit, regardless of the game version being played. Something to keep in mind. The original Akai Katana is great, with the 4x3 aspect ratio being helpful, but if I had to voice a sore point, it's the level of slowdown. It often gives the impression of the game being taxed, lacking smoothness. Something I can say was addressed in Zetsu and Shin Akai Katana. Zetsu is a revised take of the game, altering several aspects. The field of view is the most apparent as 16:9, modernizing the look and in turn allowing for more elements on screen, accompanied by new animations, bullet patterns, an arranged soundtrack, and a stage to experience. Energy and gold are also more plentiful, allowing you to soul shift more often. The new stage is injected between 3 and 4 of the original, which feels cohesive with the remainder of the game. Even so, the boss fight feels the longest. While most have their life bars segmented in 3s, hers is in 2. The lack of respite does mean there will be more to dodge, more chances to die. I've seen many express that they should play Zetsu over the original, since it drastically adds to it. Personally, I feel both are worth playing, and the third version of Akai Katana more so. Akai Katana Shin is the most aggressive of the three, wherein massive katanas are forged while in soul shift to cleave through bullets and into the enemy upon exiting. Once the target is struck, they'll slowly course for some real damage and gold. There is no delay in gathering energy either, drawing straight to the ship. It's a satisfying mechanic, yet there is another. The agile shot gathers steel orbs that'll fill a circle around the ship. With just one notch, they'll manifest into an attack while entering soul shift, negating bullets and rendering katanas. Gather more notches to send out multiple. While in Phantom, katana shards will be released from enemies to forge a massive one. Take a hit, and you're not taken out of Phantom either, but we'll have the time reduced instead. With the action taken to new heights, it's my favorite iteration of the game. A second arranged soundtrack for the port was composed, with more of a metal edge. It's refreshing, although I prefer the Zetsu version. One final mention about Shin mode, a true final boss awaits. So long as you can go the distance and not lose a single life, the whole game. A no miss is an ordeal for later stages, but all of them, that's a feat. What else does the release provide? You have access to training, online leaderboards with downloadable replays, score attack, in conjunction with novice modes for both original Akai Katana and Shin. Zetsu's omission is odd, considering the number of people that feel that it displaces the original. I think the bigger omission is the lack of any tutorial, especially the videos that were contained in the 360 release. One could conjecture that City Connection, the company behind this port, didn't want to feature someone else's work, but the value provided by the videos is invaluable. This game has mechanics that I was left perplexed about after several hours of playing it. When I thought everything had come under grasp, something new would surface or I'd be proven wrong. I couldn't refrain from feeling thwarted from doing my best. Any form of instruction would have avoided annoyances, allowing me to maximize my play. Aside from those points, this game lives up to the expectations set by the community. I would be remiss not to recommend Akai Katana Shin. Each version feels substantially different, that you can get the sense that you're playing a distinct game. It makes the collection feel special. While it did take me time to learn the mechanics, nevertheless, even blind, I didn't want to put it down. The gameplay, music, just the overall presentation renders the experience so cool. Akai Katana lived up to the praise. If you'd like to check out another that did so, I refer you to this video of Mushihime-sama. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one.